Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back for my post-market wrap-up on this incredible whipsaw day from hell in the stock market. Again, it's Friday, October 19th, 2018. I'm happy this week is over. I want to cover a bunch of things with you, put some real perspectives on a few things, because look, we're being lied to. Would you believe we're being lied to again? It's just, it doesn't stop. And you all know how much that bothers me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put some light on these things so we can understand what's going on. Let's talk about this market today. This morning, I don't know again how many of you out here follow any one of the confederacy of dunces out there, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox, especially CNBC. Stocks opened up, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, triple digits. Was up at one point as high as 230, 229, and they were doing cartwheels and backflips all over the freaking stage in front of the cameras, and their smiles were so big, you thought their faces were going to crack. Well then, guess what happened? For some reason, stocks gave up all those gains, went negative, then all of a sudden went positive again. Smiles again. Then all of a sudden went negative. Then all of a sudden went positive. I mean, we were in and out like you can't believe. This market is schizophrenic today, without any doubt. Let's talk about a couple of other things. The dollar got hammered today. Despite the dollar getting hammered today, gold and silver put on like fractional gains. Cryptocurrencies, I think, caught a bit, except for Bitcoin, towards the end of the day. But it's just absolutely crazy. Now let's put another perspective on what's going on. So, stocks got whipsawed all over the place today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was the only major index to close in the green, about 60 points. I'm saying 60 points because I don't know where it's going to settle at. The closing bell went off like the second before I hit the record button for this video. So it may move around a little bit. Let's keep it around 60-ish, 60 points. But the S&P 500 finished in the negative. The NASDAQ finished deeply in the negative. Now, the most disturbing thing here, and it goes against the narrative that we've been fist-fed for the longest time, the Russell 2000. Let me explain to you how this works. The Russell 2000, the small cap companies are, when we say small caps, we're talking about companies based here in the United States, and our economy is really strong. Well, if you were to look at a chart of the Russell 2000 over the past month, it goes pretty much straight down. Straight down. So something's wrong here. Well, if this is really our economy as strong as we're being double fist-fed that it is, why are the small caps pretty much going in one direction, that is down? It's incredible. You're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know this. You're supposed to think, wow, our companies here in America, they're doing great because our economy is so strong. But you focus on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I'd be willing to bet you that the card over there, they are pointing, look at the Dow, look at the Dow, look at the Dow, look at the Dow. No, 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 no. Don't look at the S&P 500. Don't look at the NASDAQ. And God forbid, do not look at the Russell 2000. You know this. Let's talk about another disgusting narrative. And I mean disgusting. So we're hearing again, this has got to be, again, another joke that has been played on people for, I don't know how many years now, maybe 5. Get ready, because homeowners are ready. They're ready now to start tapping into their home equity. They're going to start doing it. We've been hearing this for the longest time. The reason why this story has been pushed out there now for the last 5 years, it could even be longer than that, is, and it's going to be worse, especially now. Here we go, why. Consumer debt, household debt, is at a new record high. You are being fist-fed, double fist-fed, that the U.S. consumer is very strong. Well, okay. So if the consumer is so strong and they have all this disposable income, why do they got to tap into their home equity? You understand what's going on here, I would imagine, right? First of all, we've seen this play out before. If, in fact, finally they're ready to do it, after 5 or 6 years of them telling us that they're ready now, this would be a repeat performance of the 2008. Again, there's so many parallels. But the fact of the matter is, our economy is not even 1/10 as strong as they want you to believe. The consumer, if you would consider U.S. consumers being in the most debt they have ever been as a strong consumer, well, then I guess they're right. I don't consider that to be a strong consumer, but that's their narrative. The more debt, the more beyond their eyeballs that people become enslaved to this disgusting mechanism of debt. Well, they're strong. That's the narrative here. It's unbelievable, people. It really is. Look, this market, crazy stuff in this market today. Like I said, bond market kind of about flat. By the end of the day, the 10-year yield was at 3.19, down slightly from this morning. Dollar got hammered, like I said. But next week, and it almost doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter anymore. We're going to get a whole slew of earnings coming out next week. It doesn't matter as long as, exactly, the Federal Reserve is keeping their foot to the floor. All right? That's all the stock market wants to know. Earnings don't matter. Forward guidance doesn't matter. PE ratios don't matter. Nothing. It's all being run by the Federal Reserve, world central banks, not just our Fed, who are doing the same thing. They're sleeping right next to their world leader. Could you imagine Donald Trump and the other guy here, Powell, cuddling? Oh. Well, that's really what they're doing, despite the rhetoric that we're hearing. End the Fed. Trump's going to end the Fed. Oh, and he's going to end the petrodollar too. What else do they want to pile on? Look, I find it disgustingly, it's my new word for the day, laughable. There are people out here who will follow some entity who remains anonymous. No one knows who they are. That means they have no accountability. And they'll just sit there and, oh yeah, oh, that's the truth. There's a really big plan. Oh, yeah. Let me just say this, okay? I'm going to laugh, and I really am. At the end of President Trump's tenure, I can only imagine the hate mail I'm going to get from this. And I'm going to laugh right here in front of the screen. At the end of President Trump's tenure, and the Federal Reserve is still at the top of that pyramid, because that's where they're going to be. It's the truth. Wait till you see the comments I get here from that. Oh my God. I'm actually looking forward to it. Really am. I'll get to see how many people out there are in a distorted reality and will follow, again, an anonymous entity with no accountability. Zero. You know who I am. You can see me in the streets. You know my name. But it's just like the Occupy Wall Street, but this is kind of a new thing. It's just online. And people sit there. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. You got to have a little fun sometimes. You really got to. Enlighten up, people. I'm kind of half joking, I guess, but I have not too. So, look, there are going to be some that are so offended. Look, I remember the snowflakes. I think there's a lot of other kind of snowflakes out here, if you get my drift. And they're so sensitive, they can't take it. Oh no, I need a safe place. Please put me in my safe spot. Greg is taunting me. Oh my God. Okay, I will calm down now. Anyway, look, so going back to the sick market that we have here. Lots of earnings coming in. Let me just say this real quick. Something happened to me today that I would like to shed a little light on. If you recall, this is what happens when you, I don't know. Let me just say this. This morning, I explained to you that I had 3 credit spreads that were expiring today. In my wildest dreams, would I never have imagined that Lululemon, ticker LULU, would have fallen over 4% today? On what? I have no idea. So out of my 3 credit spreads that expired today, that one ended up costing me a few dollars. I closed it before it actually hit the strike price of the puts I sold. But never would I have imagined that today. Craziness. But again, that's life in the big city. I have 1 position open. I am I don't want to say nervous, but I'm approaching next week with a large degree of caution, which is what I said in the video I did this morning in the title. I have 1 spread open right now on Pfizer. You can go have a look at that. If you go to my website, traderschoice.net, left side, there's a link in the description of this video. That expires next Friday, and who knows, maybe we'll get a 4% sell-off there too. I have no idea. So I did not enter a new position today. I'm kind of just sitting back here. I want to see what happens next week, all these earnings. I don't think it matters. What we have to weigh out here is geopolitical events, rhetoric, and just that kind of stuff. And as long as the Fed is backstopping this market, and I sincerely believe that's what's going to happen, especially with midterms, I mean literally around the corner, I think they're going to keep pushing it up. But I'm actually too, I don't want to say afraid, but I would say cautious. But we'll see what happens on Monday. We're going to talk all about this. Going to be all kinds of fun. And people, just lighten up with what I did earlier. I was just kind of being silly. I'm a silly guy. What can I tell you? And if you're going to get offended by this, if this is going to hurt your feelings, you got bigger problems than like I was explaining. Seriously. All right, people, love each other, care about each other, be charitable. I will see all of you on Sunday. We'll try to put this together again and see what comes out of these geopolitical events, which seem to be heating up. It's going to be a great weekend. Let me tell you, I love all of you. I mean that. And please, again, just lighten up at what I did earlier today. For all of you that are going to be so freaking offended, you're probably going to lose sleep at night. I will see you Sunday, at least some of you.